13. Walking away. At Bowater Scott's 4 to midnight shift, where you could lick the tang from all those hefty, enormous tubes of pulp, some goose proclaimed, "If they bleed, they're ready." Get caught, I considered proclaiming, but didn't. Get caught, and whilst you're about it, fall in love. If she won't break your heart, what heart? The Vice God's sure to break your balls, ha ha, and there she goes, goose, walking away, she's walking away. And yet, the number of nights I've ended with this girl and oops, you're at it again. Didn't think that was bound to happen, but it did. I was 26 and thought I'd like to be French. When you're French, you just say, "Hi, I'm Monsieur Bob, chérie." And being French, you're always ready to fall for a girl again. Always ready to risk it for a face, and what a face. Always ready to see that risk and know it's yours. Tell you what, monsieur, there's girls and real girls. Go and announce to a real girl, "Wow, you're gorgeous," and see where you land. You both land. 14. Tate. Tate had gone to Burwood Tech, might have got a trade. If a girl was so inclined, possibly got laid. Slightly brightish, it's recalled, this side of perplexed. I've little idea what happened though, next and next and next, till I couldn't miss his face. Front page of the Sun, with Tate the very centre of victim-centred fun. Who got pushed by trashy clowns, each with his trashy grin, from South Yarra Station, just as a train rolled in. Don't wish to know that venom which drove him to see Tate dead. Was he some kind of poofter? Anything he said? I want to know that pinpoint, though, vengeance rests upon. Tate's God had second-guessed him. He, ha ha ha, lived on. Weren't my fault, each maintained, with manufactured fury. Dead shits thinking the court contained a dead shit judge and jury. Thought they'd play the jargon card, aka baloney, blaming it on that mafia boss, Don Testosterone, blaming it all on headaches, out their excuses puffed. And oh God, sure an ironic God, for like 'em, Tate was stuffed. Beanied, drilled, track-suited, one-eyed, dressing-gowned, through all of his remaining life, snarling, wheelchair-bound. I can't come up with clever words. I'm boiling 'em down to hate. Name one sounding plainer, better. End of Bobby Tate. 15. Amateurs. I think I recall them, may have met them, seen them once. Anyway, I heard about this couple. When it's a couple, a lot is set to turn tragic. Who brought in stuff for some other crowd except wanting first taste. It's boom through customs, boom in the taxi, boom to their lounge room, and I mean, with all their thumping hearts and all that frigging boom, why try it? Oh, but they tried it, and there they lay, both in matching pairs of King G overalls, and do not ask me or anybody why. Amateurs. Or there was big Col Bird, who lived in the next street, called everybody's mother Mrs., but then we all did, who had this joke: "Beg pardon, Mrs., but swearing, it's me fucking hobby." Well, everything's a hobby, starting out. He had a few. We all did. But on it, off it, on it again, there he was, still calling it a hobby. One more amateur. Some place, I'm told, at the end of the Alamein line. 16, the Hendricksons. Old man Hendrickson was indeed an old man. The kind who understood just too damn much, i.e., if he had got away with it, his son would not. Why say much else? He didn't have to. The man ignored Hannaford, thought Johnny contemptible, and when Werney tried talking with him, dumb try, Werney. But his wild sweep of silver brushback hair and unbreakable Viking jaw, I rather liked this quiet, consistent man. After he sat down in his shed and died, my old girl, his widow, moved in with one of her sisters on the peninsula. They prepared a sleep out for me, and once a month or twice, if Robert were in the country, he might prop there. Via all that prayer and worry, had she somehow anchored me? She thought so, and for a while, a small while, might have. Except I wrote a poem. A poem in 2 parts. I've been to Nepal, seen it all. Seen it all, I've been to Nepal. And you need never know it, Mum. But that means what it means. 17. Hen's Day. Walk right in. Sit right down. It's Hen's Day. Good morning. Let's be introduced. You've heard of victimless crime, right? Well, meet the original victimless criminal, me. And if you mean you don't do drugs, you've just never met the right drug. Good afternoon. Then there were those days they tried convincing us sure were the best ever. Plus, wait for it, there would be more. Well, here's the more. A fissure ripped through everybody's life and it all stopped, if indeed it started. The disappointments that bring on the big noting. The anger when the big note's not accepted. Having to cope with their tiny place in the world of sour men I've never wished to live in, though I've had to. Each day a further round of squaring off, shake hands, square off again. Good evening. I'm 31 and old enough to announce no perspective. We never had any fucking perspective. And if Johnny got a war for his perspective, some perspective, sitting in Lilydale till the time arrives to get up, take a walk, return and phone the dealer. Good stuff. Not bad. 18. Poleaxed. Say you're driving past some church, a weekday, seeing these kids outside, kids who've hardly been to church, kids who've assembled very, very swiftly, and you know it, They're mourning that man who poleaxed total no one but himself some place out past Stud Road. Which seems ridiculous since Kidder always took his time. You wouldn't want a cop Kidder waiting, merely waiting, the only one to know what he would do, which wasn't of course his charm, but sure made Kidder once. Whilst here he is, the man in charge of the world's foulest jokes, Lou Fat saying top man, and Kidder was supposed to take his time. Though it isn't tears Lou Fat fears, but those all too many questions that everyone stares at, or better, worse, wishes to avoid. Too much Bob Kidder is too much Phil Lou Fat. And of course he's snappy now, waving his arms at people he knows or recognises or doesn't want to recognise or know. What do you think it is? It is this life. Some bright elusive butterfly of love? "19. Caveman 2. Don't mean to be in the area again, but I am. And he doesn't know me. Hardly needs to know anyone. But at the chase, or whatever it is being called, there he is, caveman, his caveman gene having moved into its next drearier phase, stacking trolleys as they come wheeling off the escalators. And here's what I won't be asking, what he's not going to reply. Do you know, we used to walk past your classroom just to see you in action. Wasn't there that time you threw chairs at a girl? Didn't you ever know how everyone went bug-eyed at you? Did you ever mind? Is God still trying to break you? And how many times have you been broken anyway? Maybe, sort of, not my God, not many, hardly any, none. And I'm thinking of his brother, the minister's other son, who stayed with his homework and just kept staring. Oh, caveman, if I'd had you for a brother, I'd have sure done my homework, all my homework. 20. That's what it's all about. And if it's heading a decade since those few hardly memorable carnival knowledge months, how are we rating this best homegrown that's ever been rolled 1978? Tell you what, coming out of the bank and that man's Wernie. G'day, Wernie. Been meaning to ask you, which one of us at school was better known? Well, I'm told he stayed on longer, logging the quantity, but all class belongs to you, Hen. Wernie, who reckons I was fearless. I tell him I was bored. But I need to add, we entertained them, didn't we, after our fashion? Everywhere I go, I'm told, weren't you one mad cunt, Bob? Not quite, my friends. I was just the one to ask. Fearless? One day she'll all finish, and after you fear that fear, what fear remains? Colbert, finished. Kidder, finished. Tate, alive but finished. And who was that couple? Anyway, finished. The dumber drugs, the more ridiculous cars, and those dumber, more ridiculous clowns you meet on South Yarra Station. Not Lou Fat, though. When you're those equal parts smart-ass and crazy, you'll finish when you want to. Whilst out at Lilydale, Johnny simply marinates in what his current dealer brings around. Dunno Hannaford's lesson, but he learnt it. My lesson? Dunno Mark too. Something to do with dope. No doubt not enough of it. Can you imagine, I'm asking Wernie, skinheads really doing any kind of dope with hair like that? What hair, says he? If there's some kind of Mussolini complex, either that or head lice, be his guest. Correct. We grow it, we have it. We have it, we grow it. And then, this warmish winter day in mid-July, here at the corner of Orchard Grove and Canterbury Road, territory I haven't really known since school, Wernie invites me to his 30th. Thanks, my friend, but not if I'm in Kathmandu. Kathmandu and beyond. So he asks, when you were purged? Purged, I asked. You and Johnny and Hannaford, he asked. What was it you were on? On, I asked. On? Back then? Pancakes, my friend. We were making pancakes. Our very own 1963 drug of choice. What other drugs were back then? Doing the FBI a favour, we thought, how can we best contribute to the place? Obvious, don't turn up and make pancakes. So much for drugs, says Wernie. What about that girl? Some place, some cupboard? And by now, he's getting to it. So where else would you hide when raided by the FBI? Correct, my friend. And the other guy? Wasn't there that other guy? Oh, Wernie, doesn't propaganda know there always is? Last time I saw him, I was 20. Didn't know it then, but my days of wearing little Kim's sarong were fast collapsing. Here there was a plan. She was going to climb on my machine and we, the Bob and Kim show, would leave it. All of it. Dole, debts, cops, folks, and end where we would end. That's what I told him, Wernie, one evening just across the road. Then, within a month, a week, it's me being told, think you're something, son? Well, actually... And we all know how that slow Ponzi word can take its time to hit its target. Actually, if nothing's something, Hendrickson, you're something. Ha? Get it? Well, God, for I found myself with little left to do but summon him, my God, whoever trawled the bottom of what to give me that one. I know enough of you to know when we've both been had, their pious stunts, that full collapse, you're walking away, which I can't do now. And if I'm nothing, but my reply paused, and it'll remain paused. Could have moved to some kind of you'll keep mode, but who needs to sound like his old girl's God? Though I'll always keep remembering what I might have said. And if I'm nothing like you, which has to be a great start. It's a light grey weekday afternoon. About us all the soft, slight hum of the suburb. Like when Kim was settling behind, circling her arms around, and we were moving off, I'm believing again, knowing my life is set for even better living. So Wernie's told, until we meet once more, go on, like I told you, write my memoirs. Now, though, this arvo, it's down the peninsula and say bye-byes to the old girl before I hit Nepal. I've a date with some of their weirdest shit to help me grow an extra head. Reckon it's deserved. More dreams and even better memories. Aren't they anybody's extra head? And couldn't I be just anybody? Ah, goes Werney, not whilst you're the star of Operation Hendrickson and I'm the sole proprietor of propaganda. And he's right, and being right wants more. Go on, give me a motto, your ever-essential hen motto. So 3 words fit, then 4, 5, 6, and all is understood. Don't like it? Don't do it. For Werney, that's what it's all about.